Mai stared at the glowing screen, her chest tight. She read the list again, line by line. Her name was missing, erased like it never belonged. A soft laugh escaped her, more disbelief than humor. Maybe it was a mistake, a technical glitch, something simple. She called Lynn, no answer. She called again, straight to voicemail. Her fingers shook as she typed a message. Hey, just checking about the shower invite. Everything okay? The screen stayed silent, dots never appeared. Her phone buzzed instead with another alert. Facebook notification. Lynn's mother-in-law had posted photos. Rows of pink napkins, matching banners, her designs. Mai zoomed in, recognizing her own handwriting on tags. The caption read, "Traditional done right, so proud of our family." Her stomach twisted, the words cutting deep. Family, the word rang hollow now. She scrolled through the comments, hearts and praise everywhere. People complimenting Lynn's creativity. No mention of her, not once. Her hands clenched around the phone. She had poured 2 months into that day. Late nights designing, cutting, painting ribbons by hand. She remembered Lynn crying in her kitchen, begging for help. "You're the only one I trust," Lynn had said. The echo of that sentence burned her throat. She stood, packing the room as anger rose. Each step heavy with confusion and betrayal. She called her Aunt Than, the unofficial family manager. "Oh dear, don't make a scene," came the calm reply. "It's probably just an oversight. These things happen." Mai bit her lip, the metallic taste of restraint filling her mouth. An oversight didn't delete her name from 42 invitations. An oversight didn't repost her ideas under someone else's credit. Her phone buzzed again. A group chat exploded with excitement about the shower. Everyone was going, everyone except her. Mai typed a message to the group, then deleted it. What was the point? They had already decided who mattered. She sat back at her table, staring at the favors. Tiny silver frames with pressed flowers she'd made by hand. Each one unique, each one filled with care. Now they looked like ghosts of her own devotion. Her eyes blurred, the flowers shimmered through the tears. Outside, the world went on as if nothing had changed. Cars passed, birds sang, sunlight spilled through her window. Everything normal, except her heart breaking quietly. A text from her sister appeared. "Are you going to the shower? Heard it's this weekend." Mai's fingers hovered over the keyboard. "No," she typed slowly. "I wasn't invited." The message sent, a full stop to denial. She leaned back, closing her eyes. Her body trembled from holding everything in. The room smelled of fresh flowers and betrayal. Her checklist lay on the table, neat black ink fatting. She crossed out the final line and whispered, "Perfect, everything's perfect." But the words cracked halfway through. Only silence answered her back. The night was long, heavy, and airless. Mai sat by the window, phone dark in her palm. No one had called, no one had explained anything. Her reflection looked back at her, pale and tired. She wondered when caring had started to hurt this much. Outside, streetlights flickered, painting gold on her tears. She pressed her forehead to the glass, breathing shallow. Everywhere she looked, traces of her work surrounded her. Stacks of invitations she designed, still unsent. Boxes of decorations, labeled neatly by color. Each piece a memory of trust, now broken. She whispered Lynn's name like a question. The silence that followed felt like an answer. Her phone buzzed once more, and hope sparked briefly. It was only a photo tag, the party logo again. She stared at the caption until the letters blurred. Celebrating family, love, and tradition. Her hands shook, scrolling down to the comments. Heart emojis, congratulations, laughing faces. People saying how thoughtful Lynn was. The room tilted slightly as nausea climbed her chest. She stumbled to the sink, gripping the counter edge. The cold water steadied her breathing. In the mirror, she barely recognized her own face. A stranger who gave everything, and ended with nothing. Her gaze dropped to her stomach, still flat but tender. A secret she had guarded, even from her closest friends. She ran a hand over it, a whisper escaping. "You deserve better than this." The tears came again, slower, steadier, cleansing. She sat on the floor, letting them fall freely, each drop washing away another illusion. No more pretending, no more waiting for apologies. Her phone buzzed once, then again, but she ignored it. Every vibration sounded like someone else's expectations. She reached for her notebook and flipped it open. Pages filled with checklists, vendor notes, color samples. She tore one out, the page about the cupcakes Lynn wanted. Pink and blue swirls, neutral enough for everyone to approve. Mai crumpled it and tossed it aside. Her laughter came sharp and breathless. Months of compromise, all to please people who forgot her. She opened another page and stared at the empty space. A new list began to form in her mind. Not for parties, not for others, for herself. She wrote the first word slowly, leave. Then another, breeze. Then finally, start over. The words looked fragile but alive. Outside, dawn began to lighten the horizon. She watched the soft pink sky replace the darkness. The same color she had chosen for the ribbons. Funny how beauty could still exist after betrayal. Her phone buzzed again, louder this time. She turned it face down and let it ring. The decision had already begun inside her. She wouldn't beg for space in anyone's celebration. Not anymore, not ever again. Her eyes closed as light touched her face. In that quiet moment, she felt something new. Not peace yet, but the beginning of it. Morning came with soft light and a strange calm. Mai packed her bag without a sound. She moved slowly, as if afraid to wake the past. Her checklist still lay open on the table, untouched. She looked at it once, then folded it shut. The pen she used to plan every detail rolled away. She didn't pick it up. Instead, she wrote a note on a scrap of paper. "Thank you for the lesson," it said. Her reflection in the mirror looked steadier than before. She tied her hair back and exhaled. No more waiting for permission to disappear. The house smelled of flowers and endings. She took one last look at the party favors. 42 little frames, each with a pressed bloom. They gleamed under the light, innocent of betrayal. She left them where they were. Her car keys felt heavy but necessary in her hand. Outside, the morning air was clean and cool. The world didn't care about hurt feelings or missing names. It kept turning, inviting her to follow. She drove past the bakery that made the cupcakes, past the store where she bought silver ribbons. Each familiar place felt smaller now, less powerful. The road opened wide and empty ahead. A sign read, "Coastal Highway." Her fingers tightened on the steering wheel. That was where she was going, anywhere the ocean could reach. Hours passed in silence, broken only by wind. She didn't check her phone once. Messages flashed and disappeared without attention. At noon, she stopped for gas and coffee. A family nearby laughed, their voices bright and easy. It didn't sting the way it used to. She smiled faintly, paid, and got back in the car. The landscape shifted from city to dunes. The air grew salty, open, forgiving. By evening, she reached a small seaside inn. White walls, blue shutters, a hand-painted sign reading Harbor Rest. The woman at the desk gave her an actual metal key. "Room 3, ocean view," she said kindly. Mai thanked her, voice soft from disuse. Inside, the room was simple: bed, desk, window to the sea. She dropped her bag and opened the curtains wide. Waves shimmered gold under the setting sun. For the first time in weeks, her chest loosened. The ocean didn't ask for anything. It just existed, constant and alive. She stood barefoot on the balcony, feeling the breeze. Her phone buzzed again, relentless. She turned it off completely and set it aside. Silence bloomed like a new language. Later, she walked along the beach, leaving footprints behind. Each step away from the past felt lighter. She thought of her baby and smiled. "You and me," she whispered. The waves answered in soft applause. Back in her room, she opened her notebook. A new page waited, blank and honest. She wrote one sentence. "Some beginnings come disguised as endings." Then she closed it, turned off the light, and rested. The next morning, sunlight spilled across the waves. Mai woke to the sound of gulls calling outside. For a moment, she forgot everything that came before. Then her phone screen blinked with missed calls. Dozens of messages waited, demanding attention. She didn't open them. Not yet, maybe not ever. She brewed tea, sipped slowly, let the warmth settle. The sea breeze carried salt and something like peace. She walked barefoot down to the waterline. The sand was cool and soft beneath her feet. Each wave touched her toes, then drifted away. It felt like forgiveness, gentle and endless. She stayed there until the sun climbed high. Her reflection in the wet sand looked unfamiliar but free. Back home, chaos had already begun. The messages came faster now, voices of panic. "The caterer can't find the address." "Where?" the guest list. "The flowers never arrived." "Lynn's crying, please call." Mai read none of them. She stood by the shore and watched the horizon shimmer. Let them figure it out, she thought. Let them feel the weight of all they took for granted. The ocean roared softly, like agreement. She returned to the inn around noon. The old photographer she met earlier waved from the porch. "Perfect day for a shoot," the woman said kindly. Mai smiled and nodded. She changed into a simple white dress, airy and loose. They walked to the beach together, cameras clicking softly. "Look toward the light," the woman murmured. Mai lifted her face to the sun, eyes closed. The wind caught her hair, spun it like silk. Her hand rested gently on her stomach. Click, another photo, quiet and sacred. "Beautiful," the photographer whispered. Mai didn't pose, she simply breathed. For once, it wasn't about perfection. It was about being alive, being whole. When they finished, she thanked the woman sincerely. Back in her room, she found the phone still buzzing. Messages stacked like bricks, unread and insistent. She scrolled for a second, then stopped. Every text was a plea, an excuse, a demand. "Where are the decorations? Why didn't you remind us? Lynn says you ruined everything." Mai set the phone down gently. She opened the window instead, letting sea air rush in. The sound of waves drowned out the noise. In the distance, children laughed and chased seagulls. Life continued, pure and unaffected. She smiled, eyes closing against the golden light. No guilt, no explanations. Just quiet and the faint movement beneath her ribs. "You see, little one," she whispered, "peace doesn't need approval." Her notebook waited on the bedside table. She wrote one line across the top page. "Some celebrations don't need an audience." The ink bled slightly as the wind turned the page. Outside, the tide kept rising, erasing every footprint. By evening, her phone lay forgotten, the world muted. The only sound that mattered was the sea. And the heartbeat, soft and steady, growing within her. 5 days later, Mai drove back home. The city looked smaller than she remembered. Her porch held a vase of pink roses, wilting in the sun. A card rested between the stems, written in Lynn's hand. She didn't open it, not yet, maybe never. The air felt heavy with old expectations. Her phone buzzed again, endless names lighting the screen. Mother, Aunt Than, Lynn, Tom. She silenced it with one touch. Then she brewed tea and sat by the window. Peace didn't last long. 4 cars pulled up outside, crowding the narrow street. She knew every license plate by heart. They didn't wait for her invitation. The front door creaked open on its own. Voices filled her living room like a storm. "Mai, we just want to talk." Her mother's tone was sugar and steel. Aunt Than perched on the sofa, composed and cold. Lynn and Tom sat together, hands clasped tight. My stayed standing near the doorway, still as stone. "The air was clear enough at your shower," she said softly. The words hit like quiet thunder. Lynn's eyes welled up, trembling excuses on her lips. "I thought you knew. I really did." Mai reached for a folder on the table. Inside lay 2 invitations, the original and the edited one. She placed them side by side on the coffee table. "Here's the design I made," she said calmly. "And here's the one you sent. Tell me where my name is." The silence that followed felt endless. Aunt Than sighed, her patience rehearsed. "We never meant to hurt you, dear. These things happen." Mai met her gaze, steady and sharp. "They happen because you let them." Her mother reached for a cookie, hand trembling slightly. "Family means forgiveness, Mai. It means respect." Mai's voice didn't rise, but it cut cleanly. "Respect is earned." The afternoon sun warmed the small house. Mai moved through each room, calm and deliberate. Her hands brushed against soft fabrics, baby clothes folded neatly. The nursery smelled of sea salt and lavender. Blue and coral paint rippled across the walls like waves. A photo hung above the crib, her on the beach in white. Her face turned toward the light, peaceful, unafraid. She touched the frame and smiled quietly. Downstairs, voices drifted through the open window. Rachel and a few friends were setting up tables. The sound of laughter filled the house again, gentle and true. Today wasn't about perfection, it was about presence. She checked the small list pinned to the fridge. 15 guests. No drama, no judgment, only kindness. Her sister Kate appeared in the doorway, arms crossed. "You're glowing," Kate said, half teasing. "Don't make it sound like a miracle," Mai replied softly. "Actually, it kind of is," Kate smiled back. They both laughed, the sound natural and easy. Mai's phone buzzed on the counter. She glanced down, saw Lynn's name and hesitated. The message read, "Thinking of you today, I'm sorry." Mai's chest tightened, but in a gentler way this time. Forgiveness, she realized, didn't mean returning. She typed back one short reply, "Thank you." Then she turned off the screen and left it face down. Rachel peeked in with a grin. "Guests are here." Mai nodded, brushing invisible dust from her sleeves. She walked into the living room, filled with warmth and chatter. Photos lined the table, her class, the beach, her ultrasound. Each one told a story of choosing herself. No one asked about the old family or the missing people. They only asked how she was feeling, and meant it. Plates clinked, cups passed, soft music played in the background. Her heart felt full but steady, not fragile anymore. Kate raised a toast. "To new beginnings," she said. "To boundaries that build better families." Laughter rippled through the room, honest and free. Later, when the last guests left, Mai lingered in the nursery. The sky outside blushed pink and gold again. She rocked gently in the wooden chair by the window. The baby kicked once, then twice, a small hello. Mai smiled, resting both hands over her belly. "You did well today," she whispered. "We both did." Outside, her neighbor Mrs. Nguyen walked her old dog past the garden. The same path Mai once watched in silence months ago. Now she waved, and the woman waved back. The world hadn't changed, but Mai had. She opened the small box on the dresser. Inside was the beach photo, her journal, and a letter. The first line read, "When others forget your worth, remember it yourself." She folded it carefully and placed it back. The night breeze rustled the curtains, smelling of salt and new life. She looked around the room one last time before turning off the light. The ocean existed somewhere beyond the horizon, endless and sure. And so did she, a woman reborn in her own story. No longer the planner, the pleaser, the forgotten guest, but the author of her own beginning. Night settled softly over the quiet house. Mai sat by the window, the moonlight silver on her skin. The sound of distant waves reached her like a lullaby. She breathed in deeply, the scent of new paint and peace. The nursery glowed faintly, filled with soft colors and promise. She watched her reflection, calm and certain for the first time. No noise from family chats, no unread messages blinking. Just silence, gentle and full of meaning. She thought of the woman she had been months ago. Tired, unseen, always trying to be enough. That woman had built everything for others. This one built something for herself and her child. She whispered to the life within her, voice steady. We choose our own traditions now, little one. The words lingered, floating in the quiet air. Outside, a single star reflected on the sea like a promise. Mai closed her eyes, hand resting on her belly. Peace wasn't loud, it didn't need to be. It lived in stillness, in choice, in love freely given. The night held them both, mother and child, endless and whole.